You know, I need to pull this out if for nothing else. Beans, don't do it. Beans, move, go, move, go, move. Hello y'all and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be doing a honestly very simple video, and honestly a video I could probably do like 100 times over. But today we are going to be discussing products in my collection that I honestly don't use and seriously need to use more. I feel like this kind of video is, you know, at least helpful for me because it helps me, like, I don't want to say like be held accountable with it, there is that, but it helps me really to keep like reminding myself of things that are in my collection that may not be getting the attention and circulation they deserve. So doing this kind of video before like a shop my stash or something like that, I think is really helpful because I'm like, oh look, this product is fan-tucking-fastic, but I don't use it. So we're just gonna go over a few, you know, choice items today. Like I said, basically products that I need to use more is like 90% of what's in my collection. But for now, we're just gonna talk about these things. And if y'all want to see a part 2, 3, 5, 6, 75,000, definitely let me know down below and let me know a comment that a product y'all have in your collection that, you know, it's sitting there and you're like, you're nice, you're great, but you just don't use it. Now, first up, I will admit, like, the number one thing that came to my mind, I was like, this is something I bought to review, never reviewed it, and now it just kind of sits there. And that is the Jeffree Star Northern Light Supreme Frost Pro palette. Now this thing is big. This thing is chunky. It's beautiful. It's so pretty. This came out shortly after his Supreme Frost came out, which y'all know I'm a big fan of that formula. And I was like, oh, I'll get it. I'll review it, and then I never did, and now it's just like, okay. I think, honestly, one of the main reasons why I don't reach for this is probably because, like, the majority of the shades here are pretty stinking cool toned, and I'm not sure what my undertone is, but I'm pretty sure it's not cool. And so you've got like Arctic Sky, which is this like pretty pinky purpley going on, and then Alaskan Ice, which is like a duochrome. I have reached for that one as an inner corner highlight. We've got Frozen Gold, which is just a straight up really nice gold, and that's like the whole thing. It's like, well, they're nice. I just don't reach for them. That one is absolutely stunning. But something about it just keeps me from trying to pick it up. So this is definitely, most of these products are probably going to be going into some kind of rotation. I know I've been kind of dropping the ball on that one because of being in Tennessee and all that jazz, but I do plan to do more, so stay tuned. And then kind of going into the highlighter, because single highlighters, I'm pretty good with rotating in and out and what I like and what I don't like, but when it comes, y'all know my struggle with face palettes. You know, I was a face palette junkie. I was like, these are gonna be amazing, it's gonna be fantastic, and then they sit there like everything else. And one of the main offenders are these Lime Crime Hi-Lite palettes, which I honestly think is actually just a straight up underrated product on a whole. I'm actually wearing the Fairies today. I took this shade here, which is Magic, and then I took Enchantment. I just mixed those two together. Oh wow, that's embarrassing. Oh well, it's not like y'all thought this was real, and for those of you who did, nope. But there is my glow going on there. I mean, these palettes, this one here is the Angels one going on. Oh, we got Angels right here. These, like, they go 0 to 100 real quick. Like, you're just bip bopping along, and you're just like, okay, all right, what is that, you know, what does that look like? And these turn, like, swatch does not do it justice. These turn metallic on the skin so quick. Like you get just a little bit and you're like, la 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 la, la la la, and you just, it's amazing. The glow you get off of these is phenomenal, and I don't use them a lot, and then every time I do use them, I'm like, why am I not using this more? This is, whoo, this is amazing. And then going into the highlighter, kind of, again, another highlighter that just is a single that like sits there and I enjoy it and it's nice, but I don't pull for it. And for those of you who know and love this highlighter, y'all are gonna like, what? You don't use that highlighter? How dare you? Because this is one of like the highlighter holy grails. And that is the Anastasia and Beverly Hills, Anastasia Beverly Hills and Amrezy, which is basically one of the most perfect golds that ever existed on the market. And why they didn't make this permanent, I don't know. Why they didn't take this formula and make like 12,000 other shades, I will forever be in wonder. But you just take this, and it's just, let me do it on top here. It is just this perfect. When I got it, I was like, kind of not sure if that's gonna work, but it's just like the perfect mixture between like gold and champagne. Not too warm, not too cool, perfectly right down in the middle. And I know for a fact I'm going to pull this into a rotation because it is just absolutely stunning. And I always feel bad because I want the makeup in my collection to get the love and attention they deserve. And oftentimes they just don't, because I'm lazy and a creature of habit and I pull for things, you know, that are the same every blinking day. Then something that is definitely like something that when I got it, I loved it. I was like, yes, this is perf. The Lorac Pirates of the Caribbean collab whateverness going on. Now the eyeshadow palette I have, it was bought for me by a friend. It's very sentimental, that's why I keep it. But this I bought myself, because if any of y'all know me, y'all know that I am a very avid appreciator, a consumer, a lover of the Lorac face product formulas. These three highlights right here, Fortune, Destined, and Star Reader, some of the most and the softest and the most beautiful highlighters I have in my collection. Swatches do not do the glory of these any justice. They're just, I mean, looking in the pan, they give me life. The blushes, they're neutral. You know, this is a highlighter for someone with the deeper complexion, the deeper melanin than me. And just, I mean, I need to pull this out. Hair. I need to pull this out if for nothing other than these highlighters. They're just, if any of y'all have not tried the Lorac highlighter formula, you know, the formula that they have in their singles is this formula here. It is so sublime, absolutely amazing. And we've got a couple of eyeshadow palettes, one of which I reviewed this. This is the Kat Von D Lolita palette, and this kind of, this happened kind of on her way down with me, and I've been waiting for the Lolita palette for like years, and what she presented to me just, I mean, is okay. Part of my problem I have with this, I mean, this is a perfect like vampire undead palette because all the colors tend to muddy together and make you look dead. Like, it gives you that like bruised look around your eyes. Like, it doesn't matter what color I use, I end up looking like I haven't slept in 1,000 years. But that being said, I kind of want to get back into some of my more alternative makeup, and so I'm like, you know, between this and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Gradient Blush Palette, I should be good. I'm going to be the most fashionable, chic, beat-looking undead person in the world. But on a whole, I don't reach for this just because it's considering, you know, Lolita and everything like that, it's just not as inspiring as I'd hoped it would be, and it doesn't have nearly as much versatility. The colors tend to, like I said, muddy into each other, but for the practicality sense of being alternative, it should work pretty good. Let me know if you want to see some, like, transformation whateverness with, like, my alternative style, or just showing how I, like, dress and do my makeup day to day. Then a palette that it's kind of twofold why I don't use it. It has nothing to do with the quality, it has nothing to do with the color scheme. I actually pulled it out for this green here, the Urban Decay Electric palette, which goes beautifully with the vibe I'm giving today. This, my friends, right here was the gateway drug for me and high-end makeup. This was I think it was probably the first or second time I ever went into Sephora. I didn't know what Sephora was. I was like, ooh, look, makeup that's not drugstore. I'm in my element, and yet I'm kind of out of it. And I think this was like, how much was this? It was more than 40 bucks, but I was there. I bit the bullet because I did the craziness. This was my thing. And this is still such an amazing palette. And after all the years I have had this, I've had this for at least 4 years. At least. And it still performs like the day I bought it. And so part of the reason I don't use it, I know, is because, well, part of it is this palette during its time was like, you know, oh, no one has a friggity frickin' bright palette like this, you know. And since the makeup game and industry has kind of expanded, we've got more variety, more bright colors from a myriad of different brands. And so kind of as those palettes came into my collection, I stopped using this one. And second is I don't want to run out of it, because Urban Decay decided, you know what? What is considered one of the best bright palettes on the market? Urban Decay Electric, you say? Well, let's discontinue that shiz. I will never forgive them for that. I mean, if they had, like, discontinued this one and then made, like, an updated one, I'd have been fine. But no, they just discontinued it and took it off the market, and I have never been the same since. All right, last two things. One of these things is something I love. It's always funny how you're like, I love this so much. I have such passionate, positive feelings for this, and yet it still doesn't get used. It's like, what is wrong with me on the inside? Probably a lot more things that don't need to be discussed on this channel. But these are the Natasha Denona Duo Glows. I think they're marketed as a highlighter. For my pasty complexion, these are just an ultra super glowy blush. This is like Orgasm and NARS Orgasm and Deep Throat on, like, steroids. What those blushes should have been, what those blushes could have been. This one here is in Rayo, which is the more pinky of the two. If you have not tried Natasha Denona's face products, I highly recommend it. And then this is Alba, which is, they're just so smooth. And they look practically sublime on the skin. Natasha Denona's powder face products are some of the most forgiving formulas I have ever tried. It's like, what texture, what pores, what acne, we got you covered, literally. And these are definitely going to be brought into a rotation. I may actually take these with me to Tennessee because they're so pretty. And y'all know your girl love an illuminating blush. And last but not least is something that I probably haven't reached for. See, this is where it gets real. This is where it gets a little bit sad. When you literally have products in your collection that you haven't touched in over 6 months. Like, what am I doing with all of this makeup if I'm not using it? And you think about, wow, that has literally been sitting there untouched for this that's a bit of reality that's a little bit hard to swallow sometimes and admit. But the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette, I was hyped. I was psyched. I was like, this is gonna be the best thing since sliced bread. Partly because the whole aesthetic of it is like all that whole like androgyny, and a lot of times that's kind of what I attempt to skew at, though sometimes it doesn't work out, sometimes it do. And the color scheme, I feel like this was kind of like a la Anastasia Beverly Hills subculture before subculture was a thing. It's got these beautiful shades. I mean, I remember I love Safe Word as just like that initial starting out color, and then you can take it so many different ways. I usually go into Charm and then I'll dip into Poison. Dominatrix is gorgeous. Androgyny. I mean, there is not a shade in here that I don't think is absolutely beautiful. The shimmer to matte ratio, love it. You get like 2 shimmers, which in my world is pretty much perfection. I mean, I like shimmer, but mattes, they get me. And I'm not sure why I haven't reached for this more. I remember there was one time that I did use it, and I can't remember if it was on its own or in conjunction with another palette, but I ended up having a struggle with, I want to say Poison, no, it's probably Swallow right here, where it just did not wish to blend as well as I would have liked to it, and I think that happened, and I was like, nope, you're going back into the bad makeup drawer. But I do want to pull this out because like I keep saying, I want to get use out of the makeup I have. I need to. I spent my money. There ain't no point in it just sitting there collecting dust, and I want to rediscover new things. Like it's something you haven't used in a while, or you know, didn't work with how you did your makeup, and then you try it again, you're like, wow, this is just utterly fantastic. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I will have more Shop My Stash and rotations and everything like that. I am trying to just use and just, you know, because I've got a lot, but I want to use it. I mean, 90% of what I have in there is stuff that I absolutely love. And I'm like, if I love it, I need to use it. Don't just keep reaching for the modern renaissance every single time. So that is where we are at. Definitely let me know what you think about the products I talked about. Like I said, let me know something that is in your collection that just kind of sits there with all the best good intentions in its little makeup soul. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!